Okay, hello and welcome back. On this video I just want to quickly go over the Asylum weapons that will be dropping in Clockwork City and what this will mean as a whole for the Stamina Templar build, and more importantly, will they be worth you farming them? So I just want to open up with a quick answer to the question and then I'll elaborate further. And the answer is no. I don't really rate these weapons at all for stamina for a number of reasons. First reason being the bow will never ever beat the Maelstrom bow's damage, so we could have completely written that off before we even saw what the enchantment even did. Another fatal flaw, it seems, with these Asylum weapons is that they seem to be focused on using AoE abilities to trigger them, making it extremely difficult to use them in single target situations. The dual wield in particular are hindered by a great number of things that personally I think make them unusable on the Stamina Templar. They might be worth running on other stamina classes though, as they have more manageable dots. So just to quickly run through the problems that I think that the dual wield weapons have, which is one, you break your monster set by using them. So it's just like when Maelstrom weapons were around, you broke two items of your set off to wield them. So back then you used to use 3 vs Ophidian or Alkosh. However, the 5% doesn't really scale well with raid bursts, and you're better off using a 2-piece monster set and Hunding's Rage. So you really want to be using 5 Hundings nowadays if you want to go down the full damage route. Secondly, I think that it's bad that you have to use Whirlwind to trigger it. It'll obviously not be an issue if you're in a situation where there's a lot of AoE, like Maelstrom Arena. This is where I think personally these are going to excel, where you can put Rending Slashes on 5 to 6 targets and then Whirlwind right in the middle of them, extend the duration of every dart. It will essentially kill any mob with 100k HP or less with one dart. Thirdly, the rotation is an absolute nightmare and will probably make you want to kill yourself because, I mean, it's really difficult to do. Yeah, it's an especially big problem for the Stamina Templar because of the power of the light. It's really hard to keep all the dots up while keeping power of the light up above 70%, because usually when I do a rotation it starts with power of the light and it's usually the last thing I cast before I go on my bow bar. So to keep the dots in an orderly fashion, most of the time you'll be light weaving skills, which means that to keep up this horrible rotation you have to be light weaving to get the uptimes high enough. And you will soon realise how many heavies you're taking out your rotation because you'll just be running on empty within a minute. And fourth, the most important one really, and I think the damage is just painfully average for the work you have to do. You still hit higher in my opinion if you just use the old rotation and old gear as detailed in my previous videos. The difference doesn't seem too high, maybe 1 to 2k difference, but for something that hits lower than the old gear setup and poses no obvious benefit other than potentially better AoE, I just don't think they're worth using. So now I'm going to do a quick comparison between the two in terms of DPS. Please bear in mind that this is PTS and they will change things, and so the content I put out might not be what finally makes it into the game, so always check the date stamp on the video to see if the information is up to date, which they did to us on Haunted of the Reach, and all my work was pretty much fucked because they couldn't put it in the Monday before, they had to wait until patch day. So my CP, I've gone for a pretty generalised non-CP penetration cap kind of CP. A little bit more on precise strike since we've got a little 10 extra this patch. My superstar, if I even got it on the PTS, fuck's sake, no I don't. I'm running 5 Hunding's Rage, 6 medium, 1 heavy, Celine's, 1 infused dagger, 1 precise dagger, sharpened bow. So this is what you'd hit roughly with your old setup, so the current setup before you use Asylum Dual Wield. I normally get about 36 to 37 in case I don't crit enough and I hit too low. So, I mean, I haven't even checked if my gear's correct, if the CP's gonna work. I've literally been on the PTS for about an hour. I'm probably missing something there, but usually it'll be about 36 to 37k, but it's not bad. So if we go, put the Asylum Dual Wield on. Now the one thing I haven't really tested is because you have to make room, 2 pieces on your of one of your sets has to make room for. I'm not sure where you take them out. So for at the minute, I've just gone a little bit safer and gone for 3-piece War Machine to get minor Slayer, and then wearing arm caps and helmet of Hundings to make the 5 on that. So I'm running 5 Hundings, 3 War Machine. So yeah, right. You'd see how hard this rotation is to keep up. Like it's an absolute nightmare. I would pay attention to the bottom of the screen for the action duration reminder add-on I've got. Just have a look for yourself. So usually I do it something like this. So cloak first because it lasts longer, and then heavy power, heavy jabs, rend, whirlwind. Like, I was doing this for a while, and honestly, like, it's a pain in the dick. I just... As you can see, my resources are going lower. And if anyone has any suggestion on how to make this better, then please, this is just painful. Okay, I'm at 700k, I'm not going to get another rend in time. Just a straight out jab. Now, I think the biggest problem with this is obviously, rend doing 2.5k DPS is very nice. Rending slash is obviously doing more. But as you can see, my endless hail is doing 1.2 lower, so I think my rotation is not letting my endless hail stay up enough. Caltrops is a few hundred lower. And the highest I hit was about 33, 34 with this. I just don't understand how you're supposed to keep it all up. I think the main reason why I find it so difficult and why I don't think it's going to be usable on a Stamina Templar is because of Power and Light. So if I go in my old rotor, so I'll do my bow bar, do it like I normally do it, and then it'll be rending slashes, Power of the Light. So Power of the Light's always your second skill, and then you do cloak, that, and then it's the last skill you do before you go onto your bow bar, which means you can do your full bow bar, and then it can be your second skill, and then it's ready again. Like, you just can't do that with the Asylum Dual Wield. It's just impossible to keep up, and the only way you're going to be able to do that and keep it up above 70-80% of the time is if you don't really utilize it. That means if you keep, you'll have to reapply cloak and reapply rending slashes with 5 to 6 seconds left on each. So there'd be no point in running Asylum Dual Wield. Personally, I think all that really matters with them is damage, and if they don't hit higher, don't use them. So yeah, that's just a quick comparison, and do make up your own mind on these. Use this video as like kind of a reference, but I won't be using them next patch. So thanks for watching, see you next time.